like to introduce Ochanya Wells. Ochanya, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everybody and tell them a little bit about yourself, that would be great.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ochanya Wells. I am one of the directors with STEPS Educational Group. I oversee our community engagement as well as our quality assurance efforts. And I really enjoy my role. It helps me kind of do fun stuff like this and connect with as many families as possible. So I've been in the field for children with developmental differences for probably about 17 years. So as Nicole mentioned, we are going to be talking about some reward charts. But before we pull those up and kind of get into them, it's important to understand that some of the things we're talking about this evening are more of an advanced behavioral tool that you can implement with your child in your home. And by advanced, what I basically mean is your child probably has already mastered like a first then contingency. So first this, and then we do that. Or they understand that something is accessible to them, even if it's not in vision or if it's something that they can't see immediately in front of them. So if your kiddo is still working on some of those skill sets, it's okay. This is still very helpful information. And it's totally fine. You know, our job is to meet them where they're at. And I don't want you to get discouraged if you don't think that your child could get it. But down the line, this would be a great tool to kind of reinforce, hey, you can have this, but not right now. Let's get through these things first and kind of build that extended waiting for reinforcement. So Nicole, if you could go ahead and pull up the first tool that we're going to be talking about here. Perfect. Do you have it to share your screen by chance? Are you able to do that? So that way they can kind of.
Yes, if you want to.
I mean, I like when you hold things up like Vanna for me, but I don't know if our friends who are with us this evening can see it.
You're right. Let me give me 1 second to see if I can find. I actually don't know if I have a digital copy of this one. Let me look.
I do, but I don't know if I.
Oh, I do. I'm lying. I'm completely lying. There it is. Well, it's just a bunch of smiley faces. That's not helpful.
Like the actual chart itself.
Yeah, I found it. There we go.
Perfect. And while she's looking for that, oh wait, great, here we go. My goal, perfect. Okay, so this is a very, very, very basic form of a reward chart. One of the things that is really cool about these is that you can personalize them as much as possible to your child. So if your child doesn't know what a goal is, you can change that to I am working for, or I want, and then, you know, colon with a line. You can draw in, you can write in. If you have picture icons of whatever it is that they are working towards, you can put that there with the little Velcro. In this world, Velcro is our best friend, especially when you get into sticker charts and token boards and things of that nature. So it doesn't have to stay just like this. This is just a basic template to kind of give you an understanding of the different components of a reward chart and why they are there, okay? So again, the goal is whatever the child is working for. So if they're working for a break, if they're working for TV time, iPad time is a huge piece of it because of the technology. I mean, a lot of our kids are driven by technology, motivated by technology. I think of my husband and I mean, I don't know what to do with myself if I forget my phone at home, right? So, you know, things that just really drive that motivation to get those things done. You want to pick a high reward that carries a lot of high value and effectiveness in terms of, you know, motivating your child to do the things you're trying to get them to do. A good time to pull out a reward chart would be something along the lines of if there's a difficult task ahead, say they don't like bath time or they don't like, you know, the nighttime routine. You can break that up into 5 different sections, and for each completed section without tantrum or without crying or without verbal protest, whatever it is you're working towards decreasing, they can earn a sticker for that. Right. And then maybe once they get all their stickers, they earn time with you to get a book. So maybe that's the goal. You read to them or you sing to them or watch a couple of minutes of their favorite movie or activity. So it's really just, it's supposed to be a visual reminder for your child. Hey, reinforcement is on the table. There's something that you're able to earn as long as we have all of these tokens in place. Now, one of the things that you'll be getting in your toolkit with that reward chart are smiley faces. You can cut them up, put a little Velcro on the back, put some Velcro on the chart. Ooh, smileys, yay. But let's say smiley faces are aversive. It doesn't have to be a smiley face. You can print out little pictures of unicorns. You could print out pictures of dogs, their favorite cartoon character, something that's going to draw their visual gaze to that, and it's going to lock it in, and they're going to be happy to see it once it's there, okay? Now remember, sometimes the things that our children are working for are not immediately accessible. It's not something that can be sitting, you know, across the room from them that they can see that it's, you know, accessible. It could be something that's outside. Maybe they want to jump on the trampoline. Maybe they want to go downstairs and play in the basement, or maybe their favorite toy, you know, was in another room or something of that nature. It's okay to kind of bring those things if they're small enough to keep them in a view so they can see, hey, this is accessible. We just need a few tokens to earn that. And that can be something that, you know, could kind of boost the motivation as well. So it's really nice to have something that can be 100% personalized, even if it's not, you know, 5 tokens. Let's say your child can't get through 5-step directions, or they can't sit for long enough, you know, of a duration, like every 5 minutes they earn a sticker or they earn a smiley face to get something done, to earn that bigger picture at the end. You can also reduce the number of boxes. So say it's just like, okay, 1 and done, or 2 and done, or 3 and done, and then build up to the bigger picture. It can really be kind of modified to accommodate, you know, what's easiest for you to implement, because you want to implement these tools with as much fidelity as possible, which can sometimes get a little difficult with tools of this nature. But it's also something that your child can enjoy. I mean, and make a big deal out of it. Every time that smiley face gets earned, or that My Little Pony icon gets earned, make a huge deal. Like, oh my goodness, you did it. Look, you have 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Keep going. And try to keep it as consistent as possible. So if it's every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, whatever your child can handle, whatever you can tolerate, and whatever you can implement with as much consistency as possible, that's the duration you want, because you want to set your child up for success. You don't want to fail, and you don't want your child to fail. But you can definitely use this tool to build as much momentum as possible. So I hope that helps. Nicole, is there anything else about the tool you think I should talk about?
How would you suggest, do you think that there's, so because everybody gets this first then chart, which again, I don't have the PDF in front of me. Do you feel like there's a way that these two could be used together for families? Like, could this be a good first tool to use?
It could be a good first tool to use. You would definitely want to start there. So one of the things that I've done in the past is, if it's something that they're just like, I have to have it, I have to have it, I have to have it, I have to have it. You can have a first then contingency, even if it's not on that actual chart. Like, you can maybe write it like on the token board itself, on the sticker chart itself. Like, okay, like first we have to get through this task, and then you can earn this. So if this is our goal, we're going to put it here at the top, right? But first we have to get through this. And then you can use your icons for your tokens to kind of let them know, hey, you're still on the right track. Remember, we said first we have to get through this. This is how close you are to being done. Now, this is how close you are to being done, and use that to continue to build that momentum. So they can be paired together. One thing I would advise against, however, is if your child has a difficult time scanning stimuli in front of them, you don't want to have too much visually in front of them. That's a lot to take in, like a huge, you know, first then chart, and then you've got this over here, and then you've got that over there. So if it's more easy or more helpful or comprehensive for your kiddo, absolutely, you can kind of combine them and just write at the top of your token board, okay, first we have to do this, and then we're doing this. And then that then can be the goal or the reward at the top line there. Does that make sense, Nicole?
Yeah, beautiful.
Perfect. Trying to think. some of the other things that you could definitely do. I mean, I can't stress this enough, is just try to personalize it. You want your child to feel connected to all of these tools, really. So even if it's putting things like I mentioned that are of high interest or their passions, you know, some kids like trains, some kids like animals. Even if it's a picture of their own face. I know it's kind of crazy, but I've seen it, you know, where you take a picture of your kiddo and then you print out like pictures of their face and like, oh, you know, look, you're smiling, you're almost there. Look, your smile's getting bigger. So you can get really creative with some of these tools. And make your child a part of that process. If they're able to tell you, absolutely, like, hey, what would you like to see on your sticker chart? Mm-hmm. Get their input, give them, you know, a piece of that ownership. So you can get the buy-in from the beginning because they've helped you create it, which means they're more likely to respond to it when you need to pull it out to build that momentum you're looking for. Okay.
Thank you, Ochanya. That's very helpful.
Sure.
Later in the program, Ochanya discussed the importance of having tangible rewards that your child can receive immediately after completing their goal.
Behaviors you want to see and the behaviors that you're trying to increase. So if it's sitting for duration, when they earn that fruit snack or when they earn that snack, it needs to be there because you're teaching first you do this and then you get that. And if it's something that you can't deliver, if it's something that's not accessible, or if it's something that you can't deliver immediately, because your reinforcement needs to be immediate, that can't be an option for them to work for. So try to avoid saying, sure, I can take you to Disneyland when you know that is not something that you're going to be doing at the end of that Zoom call. It's just not realistic. It's not tangible. It's not something that you can pull. Now, if you can pull Disney out of your purse, I commend you. Let me know how you got that done, because I personally would not be able to do that. But you want to make sure that it's realistic and it's something that you can deliver immediately. So that way you're keeping your word and they actually connect. I earned this because I did that. Okay.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I think that tangible piece is really helpful. So like, you wouldn't suggest promising, oh, I'll take you to Target next week if you finish something this week. So you're saying—
Sounds like my husband taking me to Target.
Yes, it's your husband's reward chart. So you're really suggesting that it's something that there's a more immediacy to, like they get the reward right after completing.